Suddenly, your world changes. You're in a place you never imagined. You don't feel like yourself anymore. You feel alone, but you're not. Other people with spinal cord injuries know exactly what you're going through because they've been there themselves. They're the voices of experience, and they can help you get through this. Here's what they have to tell you about their feelings of guilt, especially right after their injury happened. Maybe you have some of these feelings too.
Yes, I did feel guilty because, till this day, my mom still cries. It still bothers her. Because, I'm her firstborn, I'm her baby. I'm always gonna be her baby. So she was there when I first started to walk. And to see that I can't do that anymore, it kills her. And it kills me because I did that to her. I caused that pain.
I tend to feel guilty about what I'm putting my family through, that they are having to go through these emotions and these feelings about my being in a wheelchair, and I feel guilty that I have put them in that situation. There is a sense that, what could I have done differently? And in my situation, there's nothing I could have done differently. It was a medical fluke, it happened, and I just have to accept that. But you still have those guilty feelings that you could have done something different.
I feel guilty for everything that my friends and my family, had to go through because of the incident. There's not anything that I can do about it. It's beyond my control in terms of, the incident and everything that happened.
I felt guilty a lot for my mom because she had to do so much in the beginning, from staying in the hospital with me to when I first got out, when I couldn't dress myself. The things that I couldn't do, she did. And then once I got better, I wasn't driving, so I wanted to go back to school. She was right there with me, taking me to school, taking me to the classes until I learned how to push myself.
In the beginning, I think guilt drove me to over-function. If kids had a small party, my children wanted to have a bigger party. It was one of those, want to be bigger than Joan, so my kids didn't feel like they were left out, some of because of my disability. So guilt probably led me to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do or I wouldn't have done. Do I still have guilt? Absolutely. I'd be lying to you again if I said that I didn't live with guilt.
I feel guilty just because I almost feel like I'm a burden sometimes. And it's more with my friends and my parents. They're the ones that I always feel like it because they do so much work. And oftentimes it feels like I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting there and just waiting for things to happen. So it just puts me in that predicament. But they always tell me I'm not.
Oh yeah, guilt can be, feel guilty because I'm more needy on a given day than maybe another day, and the scale has tilted towards, my side, and I haven't been pulling my own weight. Guilt can be a challenging thing to deal with.
It feels like it's my fault for everything that gets put on my family and my mom, and it is a lot of work, and I understand that. And I know it's not directly my fault, but it's still me, and it's still doing for me. And that's difficult to deal with, but it really wasn't my fault, and that's not really something I should feel guilty about, but it's very hard to avoid.
What gets to me is all this extra pain and hurt and work that I'm putting on my family, and especially my mom. She never deserved none of this, and for me to basically ask her to help me do this or help me do that, it's just a whole bunch of extra, that I'm putting on her shoulders.
I always feel guilty. I always feel guilty. a part of this happened because I never went to the doctor. I was one of these people who, I thought they were just out to get money out of me. And then I still do fight the battle of how much my aliveness is a burden on people. I do fight that. I cost a lot of money in hospitalization and doctor bills. I cost a lot of money in time. I cost a lot of money in, the kids come over now and we don't just say, let's go here. They come and they sit and we talk. There's almost a part of me that in a fantasy would say, I'd be a lovely person to miss. You'd have so many wonderful memories. That wouldn't cost you a damn dime.
Well, at the time, it was me and another gentleman that were survivors of the shooting, and being one of the only survivors, I had survivor's guilt, and being the first one that was shot, having the thought, what if I would have jumped out and tackled him, or what if I would have done this, or what if I would have done something differently? Would everyone else still be alive?
I think in the beginning I did. Yeah, I definitely felt guilty in the beginning. You feel like you're letting yourself down and then letting your friends and family down for all the things that you've tried to work up to and were planning on doing with your life. And so then you think, oh man, if I just never done that trick or something different would have happened and I wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Being that I sort of made a momentary lapse or had a slip in reason or paying attention, and thinking back to what if I would have just done something a little differently, how my life would be different in this respect. And it took a while to sort of get over that. But even, and now I ponder the thought.
I have 2 children. Both my children were after my accident. There was a lot of guilt when I was pregnant. I felt like I could barely take care of myself. How was I going to take care of another child? And, and how wrong I was. It does work out. I did need a lot of help. But they are now 21 and 18, both in college, both seem to be moving forward with their lives. And it's been an absolute joy. Something I wouldn't have traded for the world, and something I'm so glad was a part of my life.
Every once in a while, you might feel a little guilty that you're in the chair because, my kids might be something they want to do that I can't necessarily do with them. But, we'll go about another way to do something different. Not necessarily, it might not be that thing, but it'll be something different, But, we, as a family, we overcome it and, do different things or, make things better on different aspects.
You're going to work your butt off, but you have the wherewithal to put up your own fight. And if you do that, you will find your life just has greatness and it has beauty in it.
I did feel guilty, and I put my family through this heartache that came with seeing me as I was. And I also feel guilty, and I had a hard time forgiving myself for what I let happen. But at a certain point, those feelings are valid to a degree, but you can't hold on to them because they're not particularly useful. They won't help you grow.
Voices of experience. They know. They've lived it. To watch and download the 10-part series, go to facingdisability.com/Voices of Experience videos.